Nina, Chelsea fan, what was you expecting from that game there today? Probably from a United perspective first of all, what was you expecting from the red side?
Yeah, I was expecting you guys to be up for this one. You know, you're anticipating a new era. There's always this kind of optimism when you're getting a new manager after a lot of suffering, because we felt it. We were there after Pochettino left, so I knew that you guys would be here to welcome us, and you know, this is a tough ground for us to come at. So I expected a loud crowd. It was a loud crowd, but I wanted 3 points for Chelsea. It's not quite what happened, but yeah.
Are you disappointed with where you are, how you're playing under Maresca, that you didn't take it to United even more in that game?
Yeah, absolutely, because we've been scoring goals. I think that's been our biggest thing. We've been able to outscore our opponents. We know that defensively it's been tough. We have leaked goals, as we did today, because obviously Sanchez, Fofana combining for that mistake to lead to a penalty was quite poor from us. But I think we were a little bit reluctant to take risks, especially sort of moving forward. I wanted to see a little bit more passes. I think Jackson was really isolated and couldn't do much. Even Palmer couldn't have been and sort of stretch his abilities. He's so bright, and we know what Cole Palmer can do, but he didn't quite managed to. But it was Moises Caicedo who got our goal tonight. I thought he was fantastic, but I would have liked us to push you guys a little bit more.
Do you feel like that's where you should have won that game, in the midfield? Because I thought it was quite an even game. I thought our midfielders coped well with yours. I thought it was a decent battle in midfield there. Two teams who were lacking up front. Do you feel like you could have won the game in that department? Do you feel like that's where you probably weren't at your best today?
Yeah, I think that could be fair to say. I think both sides made mistakes though and kind of gave balls away there, and I think it was all about the recovery, who got there first, and that's where a lot of the game was hit in transition. But I think Lavia, probably that wasn't his best game today, and I think that's why Maresca made the right call to bring him off sub on Enzo. But I thought Caicedo controlled that quite well, played those forward passes, and won a lot of the duels, as the stats will show you. The stats don't lie. A lot of duels, a lot of tackles there. Yeah.
Were you surprised by United's approach and how sort of defensive we set up in that game? Do you feel like we were going to take it to you even more, which might have been opening it up for you? Do you feel like that was a flyby Van Nistelrooy? Was you surprised by it?
Yeah, I think so, because I'm used to Madueke always beating his man. I'm used to him taking it up until the end and managing to get a cross off. That didn't quite happen today, and I thought that was a credit maybe to you for shutting him down on that right-hand side, which again I think frustrated him. Madueke is a player that if he can't beat his man, if he can't do what he likes to do, he does get annoyed. I think that was massively slowed down there on the right-hand side. But again, I think that we didn't manage to sort of string our attack as well as we have in the league this season. And again, I think there was a bit of pressure, because we knew we were coming here today trying to break this curse of not winning at Old Trafford for as long as we have, and to gain momentum. There was a lot of chat and a lot of disappointment about resting a lot of senior players against Newcastle and not managing to proceed into the next round of the Carabao Cup. So there was a lot of expectation to come here and get all the 3 points, and that didn't quite happen.
Looking at it from a Chelsea side in at United, how do you feel like we did there today? And looking at that team now, do you feel like Ruben Amorim, our new manager, coming in, can work with that? Can you see a light at the end of the tunnel for us, looking in from the outside?
Yeah, I'm guessing he's going to set you up 4-3-3, I think.
3-4-3, 3-5-2 is a few different formations, but can you see players there that can adapt to that for you?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think wingers are a big part of his game, and you know, you've got Garnacho there, and I think you guys expect a lot more from Marcus Rashford, who has had his hot and cold moments. You know, he's been such an important player. He has also dipped his form, but a manager like Amorim coming in is someone that could ignite something in these wingers. And sometimes when you think you've lost a player there, that new manager arrives and kind of resurrects something new in them there. You've got quite a lot of youngsters. You've got Højlund, who's probably still trying to come out of his shell a little bit too, showed some good signs. You've got Xerxes, who I think you haven't quite unlocked yet, really. I'm not too sure what Xerxes has really done and impacted, but again, it's the arrival of a new manager who didn't quite pick these players, and they're not technically his players, but it's about what he can sort of do with you. I'm not going to sit here and say I hope you guys do well when he turns it around for you, but I think there is a real sense of optimism in your fan base, because I mean, you guys arrived into the season potentially thinking you'll have a better season than Chelsea, and that's kind of flipped on its head a little bit at the moment. But fresh manager bounce, this whole system thing that maybe Ten Hag didn't quite work out, and also he's got one thing, he's got the fans on his side. Ten Hag lost the fans a long time ago, so I already think that's a pretty big plus for you guys.
Before you go, position to finish the season from this point for Chelsea and for United, what's your prediction? We're just over a quarter of the way in, we've seen enough, We've seen what other teams are doing in the league as well.
Yeah.
Where do you feel Chelsea are going to finish first of all, and then where do you think United are going to finish?
So I'd say top 4 for Chelsea. I'm looking at that 4th spot, and I think that should be an absolute must. It's definitely achievable. We've got so much depth in our squad. The money's been spent. The manager's here. He's started to implement his style. So I think for me, 4th is an absolute must this season. And I think looking at the table, it should be achievable. Manchester United, I'll put you below us. I can say that with a new manager, Amorim, I like him. I think he's a good manager. You look out there weren't many better in Manchester United's perspective over summer. That's why you kind of stuck with Ten Hag. But now you've got this guy that's pretty much turned it around for sporting fans and really won them, was it 2 leagues in 4 years? So that's a pretty big achievement. And he's someone that is someone that can implement, again, his system. He's got a big job on his hands, but I'd say maybe you could finish 7th this year.
I tried to be rude. That's really, it's quite a damning way to finish.
United fans are going to hate me.
And Nina, thanks for coming on. Absolute pleasure for your time. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.